Name.
Yingbo Yu.
Specialist subject.
Student housing.
Should students rush into finding a house before Christmas?
Yes, definitely. You should absolutely panic and rent the first house you see.
Wrong. There is in fact absolutely no need to rush into finding a house. There is an oversupply of student housing in Norwich, and Home Run has properties available throughout the whole year. Rushing into renting a house could lead you to make a decision you will later regret. The Home Run housing list will be released on the 16th of January, so there is no need to start looking before then. Should students expect to get their deposit back?
Yes, of course, but you should make sure your deposit is put on the protection scheme.
Correct. It is a legal requirement that your deposit is placed in a protection scheme. Ask in the Advice Centre or check online for information about this. Landlords should not be taking away large amounts of student deposits if there is no reason to. Name.
Liam McCafferty.
Specialist subject.
Student housing.
Can you easily walk out of a student housing contract?
Yeah, you can walk out of any contract anytime.
Wrong. A student housing contract is the same as any other. It is legally binding once you have signed, even if you haven't paid any money yet. If you sign for a house too early and your personal circumstances change, you will be expected to find someone to replace you. Should students expect to live in a property of a high standard?
Absolutely. Students have exactly the same rights as any other tenant and should have a lovely, nice house.
Correct. It is simply a myth that students should expect to live in a cold, mouldy and drafty house. Make sure you are getting your house through Home Run and Home Let, which have rigid accreditation schemes which ensure all properties are of an adequate standard. Name.
Chris Jarvis.
Specialist subject.
Student housing.
Should students expect to pay an agency fee?
Of course, they should be charged for everything.
Wrong. There is no need to pay agency fees. You can find safe and good standard student housing with Home Run and Home Let, which carry no fees. Should you expect to have to start paying for your house several months before you move in?
No, of course not. There's no reason why you should be paying for anything before the start of term.
Correct. Paying for housing is expensive. Make sure you are not paying for your new property whilst you are still paying for your old one by taking time to look for a contract that is right for you. Name.
Polly Stainer.
Specialist subject.
Student housing.
How long should students expect to wait for landlords to fix problems?
Students should wait absolutely ages to get their problems fixed and expect to be the absolute bottom of all landlords' priorities.
Wrong. There is no reason why students should be waiting around for problems in their houses to be fixed. Students have the same rights as any other tenants. Would you need to cover another person's rent if they drop out?
Yeah, in some circumstances you can actually be expected to cover another person's rent. A good way to avoid doing this is making sure that you're reading through your contract before you're signing it to make sure you're not signing up to anything dodgy or anything that you wouldn't be happy to agree to.
Correct. Once you have all signed your contract, you are responsible for the house. Make sure you read through your contract together before you sign to avoid any nasty surprises.